Jai Shri Krishna Guruji. Hello.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I understand that there's going to be a children's class, and this is a class that's different from your other class that you did for children. This is going to be about spirituality. So why is it that you would like to teach this spirituality to children?
Idea about this came when I was talking to my elder, that is people in the age group of say 30 plus. And I found that their knowledge about spiritual is so very little. Then I realized that these youngsters, these younger than me, of course, they have children, and what they know, they are going to transfer it to their children, which means no knowledge as such about the world of spiritual. And later on, these people develop into very hardcore atheist or agnostic because they don't have knowledge. So the idea of teaching children came about. And I will also give you an elaboration about why this particular age group is important for us. 0 to 8, that is the first 8 years of a child, are called the formative years. At that time, the child develops himself. See, you understand, the child, when he is born, he learns grasping, he learns to understand the world around him. He looks around, he sees his parents, he's able to recognize his relatives. That means he understands his mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, and so on. And then later on, he develops language skills. See, he has to communicate. So when communicating, he needs the language skills. And from this age of 0 to 8, there are two things which happen in the brain. One is all the useless neurons which are there. Actually, they are not being used. They stop working as such. They are not in use anymore. But the rest of the neurons, which are very, very important for the child's functioning in the world, they become more predominant. That means they take charge. Now, whatever the child learns in the first 8 years of his life, he is actually grasping. You see, when he grasps with his hands also, his brain is also grasping a lot of information, lot of knowledge from this world. Though he may not be communicating it back, he may be just taking in, seeping it in. And that is the reason why if we have to give him an idea about who is God, what is he doing, where does he stay, those kind of things. You understand? Because he's going to develop this idea about spirituality also. Parents are not going to give him much understanding because they force a child into some kind of a rites and rituals which they might be doing from their past. See, we actually have no such training ground for the material people wherein they can learn right from the beginning of their life. So what can they impart to their children? Hardly anything. And naturally, we have conducted these kind of classes earlier in very random segments. And we have found that the children are these young, formative years that are there 0 to 8. These children have tremendous amount of capability. They understand a lot of things and they are able to reproduce that knowledge very fast. So these are few things which we should look at. That is why I thought that this is a segment we should talk about all these questions which the child may have in mind.
I see. So aren't the parents and grandparents, aren't they qualified or able in any way to teach this to their children?
I doubt it. See, in India, we don't have something which is called a religious or a spiritual education class for Sanatana Dharma. There are classes meant for, say, Islam or for Christianity. They have one book. See, Islam has a book called Quran, and Quran is taught right from their childhood. And they have these madrasas where they teach. Now, Christians are taught Bible in their Bible class, so they study over there. But for the Hindus or for the people who follow the Sanatana Dharma, there are no such classes. I have also gone to an English medium school, and there was no way in which I was ever taught about these kind of things. The class which I attended taught me everything about the material world. I had no idea till the time the movies came out. You see, there were a lot of serials that were produced in India, like Ramayana, Mahabharata. And that is where I learnt a little bit, but I had no idea. And whatever my parents taught me, they will say, go stand in front of God and pray. I don't know what prayer to say also. So there was actually no knowledge imparted by my parents or my grandparents. My grandparents, I have to tell you, they were very much keen on spiritual, but from the Guru worship, not from any God or something like that. My family, that is my mother's side, they were the devotees of Sai Baba of Shirdi. In my grandmother's house, there were no pictures as such, except for two pictures. One is Dattatreya avatar, and the second one is Sai Baba of Shirdi. So these are the two only pictures around over there. And I was taught to say the Aarti, and that's it. Beyond that, there was nothing. So in my world, I never learnt anything. I did not even know what happened during this, Mahabharata war, except for what I saw. And that too, I was not so much interested in it. So that is how we never learned. So the parents are not in a position to actually impart this kind of a knowledge. And we are talking about very, very good spiritual understanding of the subject. That is not known.
Yes. So, Guruji, parents of young children now, they may feel that they're not qualified, and so they haven't tried. So this would give them an opportunity to extend that knowledge to their children and themselves.
Yes. See, we have to involve the parents also. The reason is because they may not be sure about all these things. So if they were to listen, and naturally they will understand what we are talking about. We are not going to push something down their gullet and say, okay, you have to take this. No, there has to be reasoning. There should be questions. People need to ask. These children need to ask questions, including the parents. They can also ask questions. And they have to know about this subject. These are simple subjects. We are not going to make it any more difficult as such. So there is no such thing as some kind of a activity like yoga or pranayama. No, we are not going to teach any of those things, because as you know, first and foremost, the parents themselves may not be practicing any of those things. They themselves don't know about it. They are working parents. They may be going to some place to work, and hardly they have time in their life. They think that the school and the area around, wherever they are staying, their locality, they will get their education. The children will get their education over there. But schools are not going to tell the children anything about the spiritual. Please let me make you understand this. In India, we don't have that kind of a system where you are going to be taught about it. So this is the problem that we face. And all the parents who are there with me, of the children, they asked me to come up with this kind of a knowledge which we can give to these younger children, this 0 to 8 or maybe up to 14, young adults as we can call them. So we have to give them that understanding, a very simple understanding from all these, how the creation happens and those kind of things.
Yes. So, what would be the first thing that one should teach a child about spirituality?
See, first we have to find out, we have to gauge the child's knowledge, because he may be used to some kinds of rites and rituals. Most of the Hindus across the world, they celebrate Diwali, Dashara, and New Year, and so on and so forth. Now, why are they celebrating? They go to some temples and they think that the temple priest may be knowing some things, or they think that some elderly person may be knowing something, but that is a half-baked knowledge. Nobody has been given that knowledge. Some people have read the so-called Bhagavad Gita. I have read on my own. That doesn't give you any understanding. See, when you meet a guru, the guru gives you the right kind of knowledge that is needed. And this right knowledge is what is going to help you in the future. See, it is not necessary that you need to be believing in some God. I'm telling you this because in our system, that is in the Sanatana Dharma, you can be a believer, you can be a non-believer, you can be agnostic, it really doesn't matter. What we say is everybody is welcome. Please listen to what we are saying. You have any queries, raise the queries. There are lots of things which happen in this way of teaching. You know what I teach is called the devotional path, the path of devotion. Now, in the devotional path, we are not going to tell them anything except just being in love with God. That's it. Beyond that, nothing. But then who is this God? Where does he live? What does he do? Those are the questions we have to tackle in the beginning because children are going to be interested in it. Everybody says God lives up there. Where up there? We know, nobody knows. So we have to give them an understanding, a knowledge about these subjects. And definitely we are going to extract this knowledge from the ancient scriptures, and we are going to use the modern methods of teaching also. So yes, that's how it's going to be.
Yes, Guruji. So there isn't going to be a bias to any particular path then, other than devotional path?
See, if I have to teach about any other path, that any other path involves specific knowledge. So I have to do a scripture, that scripture is going to be leaning towards this particular segment. So if I am talking about Vedanta, that is there. If I am talking about any other, like I don't want to talk about Tantra and all that, but let us say there is a branch, a Tantra. What is it about? Curiosity is going to be there, no doubt about it. But we are not going to introduce those books. We are not going to say that this is what you got to learn. See, think like this. What do you do in a kindergarten or a first standard or those kind of classes? You get your own books, you write, you draw, you those kind of things. They're very simple. It's an exploratory world. You explore the world around you. And when you explore everything, that time you will get much more understanding of the subject. Like, see, when children, when they take a crayon in their hand and then they draw pictures, they draw some kind of a thing, they learn. I mean, just imagine if they might have taken a purple color or a blue color, crayon, and they are saying, "Oh, this is the sun." Naturally, you will understand that is not how it is. That means their cognitive ability has not developed. So we have to give them the knowledge. No, use red, use yellow, those kind of colors. So now do you understand? It's a simple method, a simple technique where we will guide them on that path. We will show them this is what it can be. So the end result is going to be they will have a better understanding of the subject called who is this God, where does he live, what does he do, why should I pray to him, what is the reason for it, and do I need to do this? Like everybody does yoga nowadays. I'm sure you know but nobody knows what this yoga is about. See, yoga, it's a means of reaching the same divine, okay? But Ashtanga yoga, that is the eightfold path, hardly anybody follows. If I have to look at the yamas and the niyamas and all those kind of things, who is going to go into that? The idea is we have to inculcate it in a different manner. See, think like this. A child has to be taught about sharing and caring. Correct? That is an important thing. Does it transcend, say, philosophy, or does it transcend religion? Of course. It's a common thing. We have to teach them about truthfulness, being very true, following something which is with their heart says so. I want to do this. Like they may be interested in arts or drawing or something. Won't you encourage the child in that? So these are certain things which we are going to tell them about. It is not just spirituality as such, it is an overall development of the child. He is going to learn a lot of things, including a disciplined life. Between 0 to 8, the child learns discipline. Think about it like this: the child has to go to school early in the morning. So he has to be ready for the bus or whatever. So if a 6-year-old or a 4-year-old is going by bus or whatever, the school bus, he has to get up early. His homework has to be done. Those kind of things are there, no? So it teaches them disciplined life. It teaches them that this is how I have to behave. It teaches them about food habits. It teaches them about how they are supposed to talk to each other. He develops something which is called friendship. Friendship is very important in this. Then he has something which is called the peer group. The peer group is so very critical in his life ahead. We have seen that because of these kind of peer groups, the child develops into a very successful young person. The peer group helps a lot. So these are certain qualities we will develop by using these tools, which we will be incorporating.
Very nice. So it will teach them kind of the diversity of different religions. It'll build character in the child itself.
Yes. Diversity of religion is also going to be taught naturally, see, because they will see in their own school, wherever they are going, they see so many people following different pathways. So what is the difference between this? So, but that happens when the child has crossed 8, 10 years,
Mm,
maybe in the puberty or something like that, where they have developed very hardcore belief systems.
mm.
And they are very rebellious. I'm sure you have seen all these adolescent children. They have their peer group, they have their phones, and they're always lost in all their activities. So theirs is a mind which is willing to listen, but you have to break it down very nicely and give it to them. They should understand reasoning and logic in this. See, if I'm just going to say, oh, there is an old man in the sky, you got to pray to him, you can't say those words. They are going to question you. They're going to trash you. They're going to say, oh, I don't believe in all these things. Naturally, I mean, it is required. Of course, we have to encourage these questions. It's only when you encourage these kind of questions that these children will develop a very healthy appetite for this subject as well. The subject of spirituality is also talking about moral attitudes in life, how we have to live morally. And when we say Sanatana Dharma, it is the righteous path. See, today everything is going wrong in this world. People are untruthful. They lie right in front of the camera also. You have seen that happen. You have seen so many youngsters doing drugs and those kind of things. Why? Lack of knowledge. They don't have any knowledge. You remember in the past, they used to be, written on the cigarette packet, smoking is injurious to health. Why do you have to write it over there? It is injurious. It is
Yeah,
injurious, of course. But nobody listens.
right.
We don't want to listen to all that. So it has to be incorporated in their brain. This is not good. This is good. Those kind of things. So we have to tell them between the right and the wrong. See, these are important things. And that is why this is called the righteous path. And Sanatana Dharma means nothing but it's an eternal Dharma. It is something which is there for everybody, not just us, from the beginning of time. So that is what we have to tell them.
So through spirituality and teaching them these way of life and the good values and attributes to have in life, what do you think the future might look like after this group of children grow up?
They will not become like us. A simple explanation. They will not become like their parents. See, today's day and age, it's a fast evolving world. There are so many changes happening in this world today. To keep pace with it is very difficult. So the younger generation, which is having the ability to grasp so much, it is like this, the moment you give them that knowledge, the brain expands. And this is scientifically proven. A child should be taught many languages. I mean, most of the countries, they teach only one language, English. No, 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 no. Teach them at least 2, 3, 4 languages. See, in India, we have so many languages. The more languages a child learns, he has the ability to grasp all the nuances of that particular group. Suppose there is a child who learns Hindi. Suppose he learns Tamil. Suppose he learns Marathi or some kind of a language. He learns to think Marathi also. He
Um,
learns to think in Tamil also. So, which means, very simply, the brain is like an elastic thing. It is able to grasp too many things, which we were not exposed to. We had limited subjects. And like I said, nobody taught us spirituality. So we had no idea about it. But when I got into this field 25 years ago, I understood that this is a problem. We have to tackle it. And we have to tackle it at a younger age because they will be able to understand far greater, more things, and they will be able to use their brain to a larger extent than all their parents and all. So that is the reason why it is important. The future is very, very bright because when you understand the way how morality works, the way how truthfulness works, the revolutions that are going on around the world are nowadays done by most of the youngsters, if you know that. So this is a spiritual revolution which we are talking about, where the children will be able to get the right knowledge when they can use in their world, and then the world can be a much better place. That is the idea about the future. Yeah.
ah. So how can you teach more such young people?
See, we are starting with the kids. We will be starting also with slightly elder ones. That means beyond that age group also. See, those who are above 14, 16 years of age, their abilities are different. You have to understand they are set in their ways and they want to achieve something. That's the age where I want to do this and I want to do that. Till they are around 25 or 30, they are those like, I have to achieve this. I have to go here. I have to be the best. So for them, there's another set of teachings. There's another way in which we will be teaching them. We will also incorporate some scriptures and some kind of activities also in that. And then for the elder ones, that is beyond 20, 25, 30, beyond that, till the age of 50 or so, we will have another type of an understanding, which because they are mature now, they have a different set of thinking. They're not going to change. Please understand, nobody changes. But we have to give them the knowledge so that they can use it in their material world and understand that this is, see, between this age group of 25 to 50, what happens? It is called the Grahasthashram. Grahasthashram, as you know, is when a person gets entangled in the householder's life. So the householder is different than a child. That is different. This is different. So we will have different age groups, different kinds of teachings they can learn. And once the child learns this first part, we can start the second one also, which will be still higher learning. Think like that. It is when you go from first standard, first grade to second grade to third grade. So in this also we will try to incorporate different levels of learning so that they also are able to grasp it much better, so that they will be ready for the future also. That is how we will grade it up.
Well, this is very exciting, Guruji. It's wonderful to hear that these children classes will be coming up soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. If you'd like to learn more, you're invited to check out the Change My Way of Life community. You could use the link to the website below. And if you have questions for Guruji, please put them in the comments. If you have enjoyed this presentation and would like to be informed of new presentations, remember to like, share, and subscribe or follow.